Okay, people, wonderful to have Bob Nicoll today on the channel. He's speaking about his message from, what's the message again, Bob?
Remember the ice.
Remember the ice.
Remember the ice.
I heard it before at the BNI conference, November 2008 in Long Beach. And we thank Bob to have him today on the channel and ask him a couple of questions about what he thinks about his story and relationship marketing of 2009.
Absolutely. Remember the Ice and Other Paradigm Shifts is the name of a book that I've created. It's the name of a program that I've created. And what Remember the Ice is all about, it's about helping you attract the life you want through empowering word choice. And in business, that's about creating an empowering message and really connecting with your clients, with your customers, with your coworkers, with your employer, your employees. It's really, really important to share an empowering message in whatever it is that you're offering your clients and customers. Let me share very quickly the story behind Remember the Ice, which really kind of sets up the whole understanding. When I used to live in Phoenix, I lived across the street from a little convenience store. When I walked into the store, there was a sign up above the cash register that said, "Don't forget the ice." Well, I am attracted to those kinds of things, and I saw that sign, and I immediately asked the manager behind the counter. I said, "Hey Rick, how are your ice sales?" He said, "They're terrible." Now, did I mention this was Phoenix in July? Okay. Yes. Exactly.
40 degrees Celsius.
Yes, at least. And so when I talked with him about that, I said, "You know, Rick, I think I could help you with your ice sales if you would just share with me a piece of paper and a magic marker." And he did, and I made a new sign, and that new sign said, "Remember the Ice." We put those up above the cash registers so that when customers came in, they would see it. Now, here's what happened. I purposely stayed away from that store for about a month. When I came back, I walked across the street. It was just across from my apartment complex. I walked over. Rick saw me through the window in the store and did kind of, "Hey, you, come here. I got to talk to you." And I knew what was going to happen because I'd been watching from the other side of the street of what was going on. So when I went over there, he met me in the parking lot. And in most convenience stores, they have an ice box outside and they have bags of ice in there. And he said to me, he said, "Bob, what did you do? I have filled up my ice box like 5 times since you were here. What did you do?" I said, "Let me explain something to you, very important. If I say to you right now, don't think of the color blue, what color do you just now think of?" He said, "Blue." I said, "That's right. When your customers come in the door and look at the sign now, what do? He said, "It's amazing." Well, at first what they used to do was they would come in and they'd see a sign that said, "Don't forget the ice." What would they forget? The ice. Now what do? He said, "Bob, it's incredible. They'll come in, they walk up to the counter, they're getting ready to pay for their items. They look up, they drift up, see the sign and say, 'Oh, can I get a couple of bags of ice on the way out the door?'" Very simple message.
Why do you think that is so important?
Oh my goodness, it is absolutely important. As a matter of fact, Jan, I have a comment on my book. In my book, it's the first statement of my book. It's on my banner. It's on just about everything that I have. And that statement is this: there's power in the clarity of your articulation. The words that you use to convey your message is everything.
Is that only for English-speaking people, or do you think that we in Holland?
It goes around the world.
And why is that? Why is it specifically? Why do we need to think about the way we say things?
The way we say things helps us to attract more of what we want, and when we're involved in a conversation with another person, it helps us both to move forward. Jan, words are symbols for signs that we understand. The words that we use to convey our message are what helps us to get the answer we'd like to receive. So It helps us attract what we want in our life. If we ask a vague question, we get a vague answer. When you ask a specific question, you get a specific answer.
Okay. What is the main reason, do you think, that we don't do that? And what is the main thing we should change?
The main reason that we fail to do this is because no one has stopped and asked the question, Why is it important to do this? Until now. When I made this distinction back in the summer of 1991, it became a personal distinction for me. I developed a strategy to get rid of the following words: not, don't, can't, won't, wouldn't, couldn't, shouldn't. And I eradicated. That means I removed them. I cut them out physically out of my dictionary. They're gone. Now when I removed them out of the dictionary, I removed them out of my mind.
Okay.
So that when I talk to people, I stopped using them. So what's the importance of this? I get a better message. Now look, in the story in that convenience store, the sign used to say, "Don't forget the ice." And if you asked Rick how much ice he sold, he said very little. We changed the sign to "Remember the ice." 500% increase in 30 days. You tell me, is that a difference? Did it make a difference by what we had the sign say?
Okay, Bob.
I
okay.
say yes.
But now we are in Holland, and you know the Dutch are a little bit like, okay, Bob, that's very nice story. It worked in Phoenix, Arizona. That's a nice example. But it's for me, I don't know. Will it work for me? I mean, I have a clothing. I have a sewing company.
It will work, whether it's a sewing company, a clothing company, a florist shop, a restaurant like the farm. Let me give you a very real example of how this has worked. My dear friend Cornelis de Meyer, living here in Hoogland, the Netherlands, I met him on eAcademy, another social networking. It's all about networking, creating relationships. We made a connection, and that's why I am here now. We made this connection in October, and here it is May, and I'm here talking to you now in the parking lot of the farm. Here's what happened in Cornelis's business. Cornelis owns a company called Flakka Cruising, and he books some fabulous cruises, and I encourage you to
One
go.
day I will sail with him.
Oh my gosh, they are beautiful. Go to his website, look at the ships, www.flakka.nl.
Okay, Bob, it's okay.
I know it's a commercial, but I'm helping him. Okay, but seriously, because that's what it's about. It's about promotion. But here's what happened for Cornelius. He started using Remember the Ice for his business. He changed a couple of phrases on his webpage from, now check this out, from "Don't forget to book your cruise on Flakka Cruising" to, because I asked him when he became aware of Remember the Ice, I said, well, how's that been working for you? He said, terrible. So he took the idea behind Remember the Ice and applied it to his website, and he then changed his phrase from "Don't forget to book your cruise" to "Remember to book early." Ladies and gentlemen, he is already booking cruises for 2010. I'd say that's early. So very simply, what happened to his business? Get in touch with Cornelis de Meyer. But I can tell you this, his business has already doubled, and he has done more business this year than in any year in the last 5.